lot of heroes from that last game, over the series really, that have just been taken away here, coming through into this. And cybercats, they do have the next pick, so let's see what they want to be picking up here with their reserve time as they burn through it. Cybercats, again, it's in their favor. They've got that momentum going, so it looks like they're going to be going for... I mean, they're going to have the global coming out from the Zeus. The Clockwork's going to be able to go in for the quick lockdown with that hook shot into the cogs, battery assault as well to chase heroes down. So there is a lot of control coming through, maybe an early Thunderbolt coming through from the Zeus as well. Even more control, even more assassination with a literal sharpshooter coming through here from the Hoodwink. So that's going to be a lot of burst damage here between the Zeus and the Hoodwink ultimates. But it does mean that these three heroes, okay, maybe not the Clockwork, but the Zeus, the Hoodwink, they are pretty squishy throughout these fights.
For now, Empire don't have much catch, so, you're okay with that. Plus, Cybercats have better vision with the Clockwork and the Zeus. They're gonna be the best vision heroes in this game. I'm still expecting them to get a Slark. Kunkka is a solid hero against all of these, but I still think that Cybercats, now they're gonna be showing us, or maybe even showing Team Empire, how you play with a lineup that is good at split pushing and catching heroes, because Empire had a similar draft last time around to work out. Here's the Weaver, even more mobility, even more ways to go around the map. You don't want to be fighting head on if you're Cybercats. These heroes are so squishy, but you want to be running circles against Team Empire, and you have heroes to do so.
Yeah, and now we've seen the Dawnbreaker so often. We saw it at the position 3. Do you think it's still going to be the position 3 here, or would you go back for something like the Mars on the side of Team Empire? If you can catch up the Zeus, the Clockwork, the Hoodwink, we even might be able to get the time lapse outside of the arena. But the arena looks like a good team fight spell to me, with the Kunkka coming through with that boat, the Marauder being able to throw the Starstorm, Medusa with the Stone Gaze to control anyone that's caught inside that. Would you want to go back for another core on the side of Team Empire, or do you think this Dawnbreaker is going to be the position 3 again?
I'd rather go for another core here. I'd want the Dawnbreaker to lane with the Medusa. I would want a Blink Stun for Team Empire. The Sand King looks the best to me, just because he can leave the cogs. The Mars, you mentioned it got banned out by Team Empire themselves because you're afraid of the Medusa's damage being blocked. But to be honest, the main reason I wouldn't want Team Empire to play the Mars is you're going to be laning into a Clockwork.
10 seconds.
Yeah. That's the worst possible hero for you. He gets the cogs on you, you use the spear, he's still there. You use the arena later on, he uses the cogs, no damage from the walls of the arena. So all of those things are quite nice. The Night Stalker actually would be a nice pick for the side of Team Empire, because it would give them vision. So I actually forgot about that one, but we haven't seen him for quite some time. So nice ban coming out from Cybercats for sure.
Yeah, no, you are right. We've not really seen a whole lot of the Night Stalker this season in Division 2. So it is something that Cybercats were aware of, though they do remove it here. Empire, what do they want to be removing out as well? Because, you've got a offlaner left to pick here for Cybercats as well. Is there anything that you think that would be good here for Cybercats to be drafting up that Empire should be looked to be banning out in this next phase? Tidehunter.
I'm not sure. You also want a stun on the side of Cybercats. I'm okay with the Centaur, to be honest. I want something that can help the Hoodwink actually shine. The Clockwork, Hoodwink, and the Zeus could get kills, but Kunkka and the Medusa seem too tanky. And you want to have some kind of a threat to at least kill the Kunkka. So I'm looking for a stun initiation from them as well. Centaur, Sand King, those are the type of heroes I'd want to see here.
Yeah, no, you are right. I'm just trying to think of what's left for the offlaners. You know what? Just pick the Pudge. Get it over with and pick the Pudge.
To be honest,
don't say it's a good
I'm
idea.
Not sure.
Don't
Yeah, there's the Centaur. I'm looking at this game and it's not. It's actually not. The Centaur is a good idea though. The only thing that is preventing you from running away is the Clockwork cogs. Other than that, you'll be able to get yourself away. So I think Team Empire, they get a 4-staff on the Marauder relatively early on, and you are able to save anyone from anything. I still think Sand King is a good pick here for the side of Cybercats. He might struggle in lane, but there's just so many plays to be made in the on the map.
Yeah, and so Cybercats now, they do have the final pick. trying to rack my brain to think about what offlanes. I mean, the Bat Rider's still there. If they okay, Underlord. So you've got your catch, you've got your initiation there coming through. A lot of damage as well. You're gonna be able to push your lanes with the Firestorm. So DK, focus on the Underlord. Scale of 1 to 10. How impressed are you with this hero pick?
I think it's actually quite nice. It's a good hero to deal with the Stampede. You're not going to be able to run away that much. Usually when you're fighting the Medusa, you're fighting her in some choke points. And usually it's really good for the Medusa because you can't turn around that much. But now you just turn around and run away. The choke point gets covered by the bit of Malice, and that is a problem. Also, there might be some damage issues from Team Empire. I haven't seen it for a long time, but a full-on Aura Underlord, I wouldn't mind it at all. And then, if you're cybercats, you kind of use your mobility to split push. You only hunt the supports, and you fight the enemy cores when they're around the Underlord. Plus, also, you know, Underlord might be immobile, but he does have the Fiend's Gate, which will allow you to be even more annoying on the map. So I have to say, I really like this pick. Cybercats, they have so many ways to play this draft, and you know, Team Empire, they're kind of gonna have to do the same thing that Cybercats did in the previous game. Get a ton of kills. The Kunkka and the Marana allows them to do that before they get a blink on the Centaur. Go into an area, force the enemies back. Once the enemies are back, you TP with one hero, you push out the wave, and then you run towards him. So that's how I want Team Empire to play. The problem is, I just don't think that they're as good as Cybercats are. And finally, we're going to be seeing a mobile lineup actually shining.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be really hard to get on top of the Weaver, the Hoodwink even having the scurry away. You've got the Clockwork that if he gets into danger, if he's not already used it, he's got the hook shot that can get himself out. So there is a lot of, I mean... What would you use as well for the instant catch? Because, I mean, I assume at some point the Weaver wants to be going towards... Does he even really want to be going towards the Lincoln Sphere here? Maybe for the X marks a spot, but there's not really a lot of single target focus. So, you know, how would you get on top of this Weaver and stop him from being able to get the time-ups off just immediately? Is it just going to be relying on that Centaur with a blink to get the hoof stomp off?
Yeah, that is how you deal with the Weaver. That's it. I mean, if you get an X on him, it's also going to be quite big. But I think Kunkka, he has some bigger priority targets. We're going to be looking at the Kunkka and the Marana in this game quite a lot. Squad X and the James, they need to be hunting quite a lot. If they're able to get a couple of kills in the early mid game, that's going to make Empire's life so much easier.
Yeah, well, we'll see how this one is going to turn out. It is going to be the final game of the final series of the day. So both teams looking to take this to, again, secure a good place in the Division 2 rankings. But Empire might need this a little bit more than Cybercats here, so we'll see if that's going to show in this game. As Jesu up on the top lane solo, there is going to be a 4-man group up from the side of Empire, but I don't think they're going to force anything from this yet. Centaur's not skilled anything up just yet. Dawnbreaker's not. James does have the arrow, but I think he used it as a little bit of a scouting tool there, and there will be the ward as well for the side of Cybercats to see any rotations through. So yes, Shigetsu, he's already moving himself away from this danger.
He'll get himself out, Empire. It seems like they're not gonna be able to catch anyone, and Cybercats will get 2 runes for themselves. Though I'd like to take this time here, Rob, to quote our awesome mod. You know, every single time he's here protecting us from all of the hate that we would, of course not, we're awesome, we wouldn't receive any hate from the fans. So here's what he said. You're playing against Cybercats, you do not ban Weaver because you can counter it. Cybercats promptly picks Weaver, you lose against Cybercats, you ban Weaver next time you play against Cybercats because you're not stupid. But the thing is, Empire, they didn't get to know this because this is the first time they're playing against the Cybercats Weaver, and this is gonna be looking pretty bad for them unless Shachlo gets that beautiful stomp off.
Yeah, really nice 2-man stomp. I like the placement of the sentry as well. It plays close. H2O does have a sentry of his own, but he needs to get himself in the trees here to get that D-ward off, and he might just be guessing at where this is because I'm not sure if he saw it being placed down. And that just means it's going to be a little bit harder here for Shigetsu to come forward, because if he does get arrowed, if he gets stomped again, you know, potentially it could put him in a lot of danger. The D-ward is going to be coming out, and the courier. Okay, so he's going to be able to get the D-ward off into the sentry. The courier is not going to be taken down. I would have liked James to protect that a little bit more, maybe throw out a point-blank arrow onto H2O, but really wouldn't have made a difference on whether that ward would have been denied or not.
Yeah, probably not the case. The bottom lane should be a sentry ward war. You're gonna be fighting for the camp to be blocked. You're gonna be fighting in the lane for it. But in the end, just because H2O needs to think about the camp being blocked as well, I think Empire are gonna be coming out as the victors, at least when it comes to sentries in the lane.
Yeah, and James just keeps. Do we call it kill secure in here if he's just throwing the arrows out for the range creep every time the arrow's up? Is that what that is, or is that a little bit griefy here up against Satchler?
No, you do it every single time. There is no other thing for you to do as a Mirana. You don't want the center to get super close because that would allow the Clockwork to do so much, and you always want the lane to be pushing in a little bit towards the opponents, because then the Weaver, if he goes for the Mirana himself, he's gonna be met with a Centaur as well, and he'll be taking a ton of damage. So yeah, as a position for Mirana, to all of the pub players as well, always do it. If your offlaner starts crying, then it's his fault. This is exactly what a position for Mirana should be doing.
Okay, well, we'll see. Yeah, he does just keeps using it to secure those range creeps up, which, like you say, is a great use. Satchlo going to be taking a lot of harass. The battery slug comes around the back lines now as well. So Satchlo, he's trying to dodge around these creeps, and it looks like H2O. Could he get himself in a good spot? The stomp does come through, though. Point blank onto H2O, so he's going to be taking some harass from James. He needs to back himself away. Shigetsu taking a lot of damage coming through from Satchlo, because he's got 1 point into the to the retaliate. Always changing the name of that spell. Oh, and it looks like Shigetsu just has to back himself away. Empire. James is going to be able to get the D-ward off. This is going to be a sentry here in the middle of the lane, so it's going to be really nice. But we have focused on this lane for amount of time here. So taking a look in the mid lane, Squadix coming up against Igor on that Zeus. Up against the Kunkka. The Kunkka is going to have that early X marks a spot at level 4 here, so he's going to be able to get the jump off. Even if the heavily jump comes away for Igor, you know, Squadix might be able to still close that gap. How does this lane play out? Because Igor wants to play back, you know, he's going to be able to get himself with the Arc Lightning to do damage on Squadix there as well, but how careful does he need to be about being caught out before pre-level 6, before that boat is available?
Even when the boat comes out, unless the Mirana is missing, you're gonna be fine. And we do apologize, guys, for looking at the bottom lane so much. There is a hero, I don't know which one out of these 4 that Rob really wants to learn how to play, so that's why he's looking at there constantly. With all of the questions regarding the Mirana, I'm kind of leaning towards those. But I really want to see what's happening on the top lane, because it's gonna be the most interesting lane in the world with so many aggressive heroes. Just kidding, of course, it's just gonna be a farm fest here, but I have to say both of them are doing quite well, and it is to be expected. You can't really stop either from them from farming.
So Jesu, though, Jesu, he has to pop that mana shield because the bushwhack comes out, does a lot of damage to him, and yeah, he has to back himself away. And he gets the tango being passed across from BCZ, so BCZ has that salve. It's not as effective with the last balance patch coming out, but it still might be something that clutches Jesu's life if he needs it. The Mystic State bounces around, Celestial Hammer comes in now as well. Going to be a lot of damage onto Focus. Focus drops that fire pit. Is it going to be enough? And Jesu has to move himself away. BCZ, the bottom block's coming through from Phasor now as well, so BCZ just has to run himself back, trying to do what he can. And level 3. No points into the Luminosity, playing that support build. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, the cogs do come out. The Centaur Stomp's going to be used already. He's going to try and go with the damage coming through. He's only got 1 point into the double edge, so it's not a lot of damage that gets pushed back onto H2O. Or Shigetsu, depending on who he goes down to.
Yeah, he understands the Weaver wants to punch him all the time, and you know, you want more points in the retaliate because of it, and that is the appropriate build for Shashlo. You know, double edge though, even level 1, it still does quite a lot of damage. If you're not careful in the Weaver, you can die, especially because you're always gonna be around half HP. You just can't help yourself but use the Geminate attack on Shashlo. But it seems like Shigetsu, he has had enough. He knows this is just not a hero that you can go for, especially now once the Vanguard comes out. It's gonna be a time for James to leave the lane. But before that, I was about to say H2O was gonna die, but no siree.
That was actually a great bait, mate. And Jesu's going to go down on the top lane as well. Yeah, H2O, he turned back. He was low health, but he baited in the Mirana as that Battery Assault was still going to get the damage there for Igor to set up for the Thunder God's Wrath and claim that first blood. And
Igor in some trouble? He got the hit.
He's got a haste. He's fine. He's fine. Look at this, he's even going to be able to get around to the back, get that bouncy rune as well. It steals off the bouncy rune from the Kunkka, and going to be able to get himself back into the lane, no problems.
literally walking over enemy vision, but he doesn't care. That the idea there from that rotation from the Dawnbreaker was to prevent the Zeus from getting the rune, but obviously the idea didn't work out. Now, okay, Shashlo has the Vanguard. I want the James out of this lane. He is not doing anything here. You're not gonna kill the Weaver. Just let go of that idea and go for the Zeus. All of those attempts are gonna be are not gonna be working out, and the Centaur himself is still gonna be doing well against this hero.
Yeah, look at this, the damage coming through onto James as well. Just Shigetsu putting it right up there. He's got the point into the swarm as well, so if James didn't have a leap, there would have been a potential for the kill, as the Clockwork was moving himself in. He's got the 2 points into the battery assault now as well. Arrow's going to fly through. It's going to be off the mark of the stomp. It's being teased, but not actually going to be thrown out from Shashlo. Shigetsu's going to try and contest onto this pole, but can they get the deny? Can they get the creeps farmed up? It's going to be Centaur on Centaur betrayal there from Shashlo.
He couldn't kill his own brother. You could see there the Weaver getting the kill. So Shashlo in the end is like, yeah, we're just brothers. We're gonna fight. But then Shigetsu, he murders him in front of his eyes. So this is gonna be a grudge that we're probably gonna be looking at towards the later stages of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, there's the Kunkka rotation comes down into the bottom lane now as well. They do have sentries available. Can they lock down into Shigetsu? Is there any dust? Is there any reveal? As the swarm will be used, they might be able to find H2O. H2O is going to reveal that the fact that the Kunkka's down here. X marks the spot, but the cogs have been dropped. The boat's going to be flying through now as well. Dragging right back onto this. They're going to be able to lock down onto the Kunkka. The Kunkka, as I'm seeing the abilities, but yeah, the arrow, it goes, and Squad X just gets the blow up on H2O.
Meanwhile, mid lane, BZZ in trouble.
Oh, he's going to be able to get the hammer away, though. He's not into too much danger. Fezor, yeah, the acorn shot's going to be used, but there was no sharpshooter, so he's not going to be killed off.
I'll be fine. That rotation, though, from Empire not working out. You get the Clockwork kill, but that was kind of the idea from cybercats. Give him away. This is why I'd rather have Kunkka stay around the mid lane, Mirana being with him, and you know you're farming a lot. You see a hero pop his head. The X marks the spot into an arrow. You might not even need the boat.
Thunder God's Wrath comes out. They get the kill onto Jesu here as well. I didn't even realize he was that low.
Nope, but this is what happens against the Firestorm. It just does so much damage over time, and Igor, 2 times in a row now, his Thunder God's Wrath has given them a kill on the Medusa 7. Jesu, after a beautiful game on the Juggernaut, now in this third game, he is struggling quite a lot. I guess you are getting some farm on the top lane, but it's definitely not as much as you hoped for.
You know what you are getting on the top lane? You're getting dead if you're BZZ, as Igor finds himself another kill on a killing spree already. It's only 9 minutes into the game. If we take a look at the net worth here, Zeus, top of that net worth. DK Fogus completely taking over this top lane as well, with the Firestorm coming out through. Do they have the damage to take him down, though? He's going to be able to get himself that time lapse if he survives through the stuns. He does. He just gets it off, and now with a sliver of health, he will survive, gets himself out of danger with the Sakuchi.
I don't know if it was intentional or not, but Shigetsu, he knew from which... okay, let's look at the top lane, then we'll explain what happened there, because BZZ is not looking too healthy.
No, Squad X is going to be tipping in. The X marks the spot, comes out. The arrow's not going to connect there as well. The drag back onto the Phasor. Phasor will go down. He's going to be the sacrificial squirrel.
So overall, coming back to the bottom lane, because this was a very uninteresting play on the top lane. We could have even ignored it, just a dive into TPs, into a kill. So what happened is they got an X to the Weaver, but he ran into the arrow so that it is a shorter stun. And because of it, he survived barely on literally 1 HP. 1 hit was what was actually keeping him from dying. So Shigetsu, beautifully done. I don't know if it was intentional, but to me it looked like he had the idea of eating the arrow before he gets pulled back into the X.
Yeah, top lane, they're going to be able to get H2O locked down, or is H2O going to be able to get the lockdown onto BTZ? As it is going to be a 1-for-1 with that gank coming through. And I mean, he's only level 5, he was so close, he had the tome. And but he's going to be able to get that level 6 so soon. And then when the hookshots start to come out, this is going to get even scarier for the side of Empire. As Phasor just scurries himself through the trees away from danger. Hiding himself, the torrent's not going to connect. He's trying to eat his way through here, Squad X, but he's not going to be able to find Phasor. The arrow's going to be off the mark, but I think he might have seen him. He's going to be able to scurry himself out once again. He's just buying time. Yeah, and look at this. The TP's the Fiend's Gate comes in here. The Nutshot's going to be onto 2 heroes. The Thunder God's Wrath, the pushback onto Kunkka, and now they're going to be able to go the Fiend's Pit comes out, and it looks like they're going to be able to get the kill onto James. Can they go even further? Even with that Solar Guardian coming through here, the Starbreaker comes out. H2O is going to get low, but Squad X is going to be the one that goes down, and the Pit of Mars doing the job to keep him locked down.
Centaur can't die now.
He's trying to pop the hood. He's trying to keep himself alive, but the bushwhack into the sharpshooter, into his death. And cybercats clean up 3.
Oh, that is the mobility coming into play, and Empire taking the bait. As I told you last game, cybercats, they were kind of dealing with the same thing that the Empire are doing with right now, but they did so well. Centaur, when he decided to buy a hood over the blink after his Vanguard, he kind of put himself in a position where you never want to die. You just want to be you want to be on the aggressive, but not when full 5 enemies are already there and you've already lost a couple of heroes. You want to be posturing aggressively and the enemy's being afraid to go for you because there's a tower and they can TP in. But the thing is, top lane tower gone. That's already a big problem. Now the only thing you can defend is the mid, and to be honest, cybercats, they want to be playing the side lanes either way, so they'll be fine with that tower staying alive for a long time.
Yeah, and you can see already DK Focus, he knows this lane, it's completely empty, so he's already moved himself down, to farm it up. The Firestorm come through as well, going towards that Rod of Atos. It's going to offer a lot more lockdown coming through for Focus, and I don't know, I mean, you look at the lineup from cybercats, they've got at least mini stuns built into everybody apart from the Weaver, and the Weaver, he doesn't really care, he's going to be farming up, he's going to be able to get himself towards that Dragonlance. The extra damage that's going to offer, the extra attack range, while the rest of his team keep the side of Team Empire locked down. He's just going to be able to run, quite literally, with his Sakuchi, just run through them and take these heroes down here. 8-3 at the minute for cybercats. And how do Empire, what do they need to do to get the momentum back in their favor for this game?
There's 2 items you need. One is the blink on the Centaur. Okay, you're working towards it. But if you look at Squad X, he's gonna turn it around to go for an Orchid. I think either way, first he was thinking about Shadow Blade, but either way he's gonna regret this choice not going for a BKB immediately. You're gonna be dealing with a Pit of Malice, Rod of Atos into an arrow, you will die. If you don't have a BKB on the Kunkka, there is no way that you will be moving at all in these fights. This is looking really, really tough for Empire, and they're bringing themselves to that point with the Orchid. He wants to hunt the Weaver, but I think an X into an arrow would be good enough.
Oh, top lane, they might find him BZZ. BZZ can get himself out here. He does have the solar gun, and the hookshot comes in. They're going to be able to get right on top of him. BZZ tries to go in with the Starbreaker, but he's just going to go down. Shigetsu picks up the kill. And yeah, Weaver, that's going to be his completed Dragonlance now coming out for him. Really nice combo there with the Swarm coming through into the hookshot just to make sure that BZZ couldn't get out of that fight, or the gank attempt.
I actually thought Shigetsu was gonna change up his item build, maybe get a Diffusal Blade after the Maelstrom. Maybe he does right now, but usually he does go for this Maelstrom into a Dragonlance. Still, it seems like he doesn't care about the Medusa. He thinks that they're gonna have enough damage, and considering the Underlord, they might not need to have the damage because Medusa really won't be hitting anyone because of the Atrophy Aura.
I love this from the Clockwork, how much time H2O is wasting for Squad X to get this kill. He even throws out a smoke. Oh, the cogs have been dropped now as well. The bow is going to fall onto the Clockwork. Did he have the damage? He will be able to take him down, but the Swarm comes through once again. This might actually be a kill onto the Kunkka. The Kunkka's going to get really down low. Sakuchi as well as that chase out. Squad X, one more right click. He's going to go down, and now BZZ is in a bad position. They might be able to turn this one around here with Jesu rotating in, but the arrow's going to be off the mark, and they're just going to carry on going in. The Bushwhack going to be able to catch onto 2 James. The Stone Gates is going to be used, but Shigetsu, he's just going to be cleaning up heroes left, right, and center, and Jesu has to run himself away. The Thunder God's Wrath is already going to be used, but the Arcline is going to be there as well as that Pit of Malice. Going to be able to get the control out. Satchel, can he get himself away from this? Taking so much damage from these 3 heroes. The Bushwhack comes out once again, and cybercats show why they are at the top of the table here. 13-4 in this game, just cleaning up the side of Team Empire.
I think the time where Squad X is gonna start regretting his choice so much is coming. Sure, that fight he probably wouldn't have had the BKB anyways, even if he did go for it, but he would have at least been close. Once he gets the Orchid, it's probably not gonna result in much. And Shigetsu is actually going for a Lincoln Sphere. It seems like he's not really afraid of the center arrow.
Oh, he does connect the Starstorm. Okay, James, 100% calculated though.
550 movement speed? Who? What? Who the hell cares, James is just on point. That's the real sharpshooter. I think Hoodwink is definitely gonna be feeling a bit shamed there just because of the sharpshooting skills of the Morana, but who cares? They're just gonna be on Medusa right now. 7 Jesu, I don't see him getting out of this one. The Stampede isn't ready.
Yeah, the Firestorm's not there though. Ego's going to be rotating around. The Bushwhack comes out, so they are going to have the lockdown to the Medusa. The sharpshooter will be used, and it looks like Fogus, they are going to be able to get the kill even without the Firestorm. Ego picks up the kill there, and a really nice one there. Yeah, 14-5. They did lose Shigetsu, but it's going to be able to take away from 7 Jesu's farm speed as well. So it kind of evens out in the end there.
Yeah, but still, you know, it's a really good kill for Empire. The thing is, you got it. I don't want to say accidentally, he wanted to do it, but that is a 1 in 15 times play. Squad X, he's coming in with his Orchid, and now again, he's gonna wish for a BKB.
Great bait, mate, as he was just caught out, and the pit mouse comes through. Yeah, he was turned into a crater, as Vogus looks to push up now as well. Well, level 13. If we take a look at the net worth as well, all 3 cores on the side of cybercats right at the top of that. They might even be able to go further to this. BZZ, the hookshot. Oh. Just a little bit too much lead there onto BZZ as he tries to get... Oh, you did get the Celestial Hammer away. And I think it was that stop for the Celestial Hammer animation that put the hookshot off the mark.
Yep, that is what kind of caught him off guard. Either that or he wanted to catch him in the mid of the Celestial Hammer. Either way, a bit of a mistake from H2O, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. The bottom tier 1 drops. They're going to continue to play the side lanes. You can see that they're not putting much emphasis in the mid tower, not having a blink initiation hero. It really doesn't matter if the mid lane tower remains. You just want to be catching people over and over on the side lanes, and the bottom lane is somewhere where cybercats could play, and Empire might not see it coming.
Yeah, and Zeus, it is going to be a bit more of a I'm going to call it the classic build, you know, the standard build coming up for Igor. He's already got himself the Carrion Sands. He's going to go back towards the Arc Scepter there as well. He has a lot of protection being offered by the front line from the Underlord. The Weaver's going to be in and around that fight there as well, so he can just sit back and pray that the side of Team Empire do ignore him. You know, the Clockwork going to be able to land some saving hook shots or drop the cogs as well if anyone tries to go on him. So Zeus, he's feeling that he doesn't need to build into the safety items. You know, he can just go pure DPS, just raw damage coming out for this hero here. And it goes well with the Clockwork as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Empire are trying to get this tower down. The thing is, it is very hard to do so. They wanted a smoke kill into a tower, but it wasn't given to them because cybercats are reading them like a book. But once the tower does fall with the blink on the centaur, you'll actually be able to go for some plays on the map. The problem is, you know, you only have your mid lane tower left, and that is gonna be the one that cybercats aren't going to be committing too much around, where your Medusa will be. So that extra damage coming out from the Medusa isn't going to happen. That immediately puts Empire on the back foot.
And
7 Jesu, he's in trouble.
The game's gone again. You'll have to go for the radio cast. Never mind. It looks like it's back.
Okay, the radio cast.
No, go on. You go for it. You can do some play-by-play if you want.
I don't want play, but I wanted the radio cast, and every single time you're getting my hopes up. I'm starting to believe that Rob doesn't like me here. Either way, cybercats in a really good position if Empire go to the left side, but obviously Empire are aware of this, and around this mid lane tower would be a perfect fight for them. Even if you get that rocket flare, you don't want to jump behind the tier 1. You just want to slowly siege it right now if you're cybercats.
Yeah, you can see them backing themselves away. You know, like you said, they are just being slow, and they're not overextending. They don't want to get caught out. Even the rocket flare that scouted out on that right hand side, you know, just to see. But H2O is going to be coming in. There is a Moonlight Shadow coming out. Where's that X marks the spot though? It's just onto the Kunkka. So the Kunkka, they don't see, well, they're going to see where it is with the rocket flare now as well, so they might come in for this now. No, okay. They just let it go, yeah. The Clockwork's going to back himself away as well. Doesn't want to overextend, doesn't want to get caught out, doesn't want to, because I mean the rest of the team weren't close onto that. So if he'd have gone in with a hook shot, who knows how that fight would have ended up.
I'm actually surprised that cybercats are giving so much time to this mid lane tower. You're playing against the Medusa. This is the tower that he's going to be defending, and you're actually going to be going into a 5-man lineup. I think the thing that is keeping the nerve... Squadix, what the hell are you doing there?
Oh, the hookshot just off the mark. By the feathers of his pretty bonnet, the Kunkka gets away from that.
So the reason why cybercats forced that so much was, I think, because the Kunkka doesn't have the BKB. I think that was the call. He has no BKB, they can't fight us. But the thing is, you can't fight them either if you're running through a tier 1 tower. So cybercats, with that, they gave some time to the side of Empire. This is starting to remind me of game number 1, with cybercats could have just been... could have just been crushing their opponents at some point, and they chose to kind of slow down the game and try to get an objective that ultimately I'm not sure it gives them too much.
Yeah, and you can see as well, I mean, the rotation's coming around that Empire, they're just kind of playing this keep away Dota from the side of cybercats. You know, cybercats keep forcing the issue over parts of the map. They take control, they rotate around, they look at the pickoffs, and it just seems like Empire, they're too scared to split up to play too far apart, which means that, you know, you can see that James, BZZ, Squadix are all playing close together. It means that, you know, Kunkka he's got the bodyguards out. You know, okay, now that Satchelo as well as Jesse have pulled away from each other, but they are playing so close together, which is going to limit the amount of farm that Empire can pull out when they are playing in that 5-man skirmish. And cybercats know this, and like I say, they've taken control. They moved the Underlord to the bottom side of the map. You know, they're pushing that lane out. They've got Shigetsu in the jungle, taking away the farm that could go to the way of the Kunkka or the Centaur while he's up there. So it's starting to look like cybercats. I know it's only a 2k net worth lead here, but they are starting to choke out. You know, when do they want to be looking to try and force something out? Is there a big item they're waiting for? You know, is it going to be the Lincolns that's flying out for the Weaver, or is it going to be where is his career? Yeah, so it is going to be the recipe for the Lincolns, or does he want to wait for till he's got, because he's got the Melania queued up now as well? Is that what he wants to wait for, or you know, what timing do cybercats choose to really push their advantage here?
All right.
You know, Dota as a game is not so big on item timings that they change too much. It's usually positioning and how you play your lineup. I think cybercats' lineup is built in a way that it's not about items, it's your positioning. And I think they're not utilizing the bottom lane too much. Sure, they walk into the Roach right now, but they're afraid to play the bottom lane. Considering they took down the tier 1 of the enemies, they definitely could have done so. But this Aegis might give them the confidence, as you asked, to just walk towards the mid lane tower, take it down, and then maybe they'll feel a bit better going in.
Look at this as well into the high ground. The Thunder God's Wrath comes out, spots out BZZ. The Phoenix Gate's going to be dropped as well. There's a bit of Malice and Dawnbreaker. BZZ, I don't think he gets himself out of this. He's going to try and use the Starbreaker as much as possible, but that's going to be the death of BZZ. He does go down, and so does the tier 1 tower.
You see, I like that much better. You are very deep on the bottom lane with the Underlord, and then you come over. Though Satchelo, he comes over. Can you really kill this hero alone?
The Stampede's going to be used, but they get him all the way to himself. The hookshot comes out into the cogs, and that's going to be the death of Satchelo. He goes down, he gets blown up, and now James, he might be the next target. He does have a leap away. He's going to be seen by Shigetsu. Shigetsu doesn't want to try and chase onto this. It looks like the rocket flow is going to go, but they don't have anything to catch up onto James, and James just backs himself up. Shigetsu's going to go onto the tier 3s. One more right click. Is it going to be enough? No. He gets that leap away to safety. But Shigetsu was serious about going for that kill into James.
At that point, you want to force out the TPs as well. You want the enemies to think, oh, maybe we can kill this Weaver. Meanwhile, Clock, he has found the Kunkka, or is it the other way around?
It's going to be, the cogs do get dropped. H2O going to try and get himself out of danger here. Was the rotation coming through? The Bushwhack will connect. Does he want to go back into this? The hookshot, it's going to be on cooldown for the next 16 seconds. And it looks like he might be able to get himself away. Meanwhile, on the high ground, though, the bit of Malice did get dropped. Shigetsu, he's moving himself around. James. Well, stomp. I mean, the sentry is there.
Again.
Okay, Kunkka. Yeah.
H2O is hunting the Kunkka again.
He's got that hookshot, but it's back up. The Nimbus goes down as well, so they're going to have that full vision. H2O, the Lincoln Sphere does get popped now as well, so the hookshot comes in. Swarm's going to be dropped as well as the cogs, and I think Squadix is going to get dropped now too.
Cybercats just didn't feel confident enough going for the enemy triangle, going for the plays on the bottom part of the map until the mid lane tower fell. I don't think that they necessarily needed to be afraid, but it was the safer play. So with this now, they're gonna be starting to run around. If the side of Empire are on the top lane, you can see how big that area is. So there you can run around circles around them. So Cybercats, now they can smoke, now they can catch Empire off guard. But the thing is, they don't have to. So Empire are just gonna be sitting there shaking, guessing if the enemies are coming over, and if they are, you are gonna die.
And I like the Thunder God's Wrath being used to scout as well. You know, it means that you can put the pressure onto this tier 2 tower, but more importantly, you know, if there was an opening there, that Focus could have dropped the Phoenix Gate and just maybe gone for a kill into the Shigetsu once again. He's just not shy about diving towards this tier 3. Ooh, the Centaur though. Do they have anything to stop this TP? The Thunderbolt, the Nimbus does get dropped, and Satchelo is going to be dropped there too.
He got the Nimbus just a minute ago, and the Centaur there, he was probably like, haha, they missed their spells, I'm gonna be TPing out. No, you're not. 7 Jester goes into his triangle. The thing is that everyone is already there. You can't even get a single part of the map to farm with 7 Jester right now. And Empire, they'll be forced to fight. They'll wait for the BKB on the Kunkka, and that is when they will strike, because farming is just no longer an option.
Yeah, they might even be able to get the D1 on this cliff onto the... Yeah, do they want to go for it now? Yeah, they're going to be able to get that Observer down. The division will go down. BZZ has to back himself up, can't contest onto that. And you saw that Jesu, he tried to get himself away. As soon as he used that, the Manta style, the Pit of Mars got dropped, you know, or maybe if the Pit of Mars gets dropped first, you go for that Rod of Atos. They have that extra lockdown onto Jesu. And Jesu, he just needs to be super careful because the Swarm came through Shigetsu. He was deadly serious about getting deadly up against Jesu here. And this is going to open up the tier 2 tower on the bottom lane now as well.
Yeah, it is. The tier 2 being pressured. If Empire are not fighting here, all other places on the map are gonna be harder for them to fight. They had the BKB on the Kunkka, so I think this was the time for them to go. And H2O, he's not gonna wait for anything.
Yeah, Squadix, so he pops that Fiend's Scourge, he pops the BKB as the Fiend's Gate does get popped now. Slash looking to get himself away from danger. The chase is on Shigetsu. He wants to carry on going. And it looks like, well, everybody from the side of Empire might make their way out of this, but it's not completely awful. You force a BKB charge out of the Kunkka.
I think you have to smoke right now. If you're just on the backline, you're gonna be forced to move further and further towards your base. So they're smoking without the BKB. That might be an issue. But if you get the first eddy, they're not gonna get first anything.
Phasor, yeah, with the blink away here on the Squirrel, so he was able to get himself out of danger. Focus. What's he looking towards? I mean, he's got that BKB up. The Thunder God's Wrath comes out, so they're going to spot this now as well. They're going to be able to go on. The Nimbus does get dropped. The leap away, but she gets on the back lines, cleans this one up. The boat will go out, so they're going to be able to take down Hoodwink. But it looks like the buyback comes through. Who's that going to be? It's going to be the Marauder. Does actually get the buyback. Squadix going to get himself away from this one as well. The chase, but there's going to be the Stampede coming through. Anything to get through. The hookshot onto the back line. So they're actually going to be able to get themselves onto Jesu. So the Guardian will be used. Jesu's going to try and get himself away from the danger. And BZZ, he might be the sacrificial lamb. He is going to go down here, but the Pit of Mars goes down now as well. Satchel gets the stomp. He's going to crush that clockwork. And it looks like he might still be able to go onto Jesu. Jesu, he's trying to live through this. He's trying so much, but he's still going to be taken down. And James, he's going to be the... he brought back into this. Needs to be careful. Trying to hunt onto Ego. He's going to be caught out and killed off. Godlike Spree goes the way of Shigetsu with that triple sphere. And it looks like Kunkka, I mean, the only one. He's going to try and run himself away from this. But with 4 heroes being down, this is just going to open up the tier 3. So yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen a manlier Zeus. I don't know if I've ever seen a manlier Zeus. I think he's gonna be needing some new rows because those ones aren't gonna be covering the covering all of the things they should have covered. To be honest, just big and how big it is. Either way, I mean, this Zeus is just insane. He jumped in. The fight was going on. He is just crushing every single hero, and even on the top lane, the Kunkka gets caught. He has the BKB, but he uses it a bit too late.
Yeah, he gets caught out and killed off once again here. And if we take a look at 1, 5, and 4 for the Kunkka, meanwhile 6, 0, and 12 here for DK Fogus. He's ripping heroes apart at the minute. It's just looking super impressive on the side of cybercats. 25-7 at 28 minutes in. You know, Dawnbreaker wants to be going back for that Wraith Pact, but it's not really the saving grace for this team. You know, the cybercats, they just open up so much of this map.
When you're smoking with the Empire lineup, you need to catch a core. There is no doubt about it. The Zeus would be the ideal target. Weaver is okay as well. DK Fogus you can't kill. So, you know, one of those 2 cores, they have to die with the Centaur Stomp. The thing is, it's way too hard to do so because DK Fogus is always in a good position to break those. But right now, Empire, they don't have any more plays left on the map. It's only we smoke and we fight because you lost all of the tier 2s. There's nothing to defend. There is no area to play. It all comes down to fighting. If you just keep yourself back, the lead will continue to increase and ultimately you'll lose the game.
Yeah, and you can see how nervous Jesu is about going forward. The Moonlight Shadow is going to be used, but I mean, what are they going to be able to catch after this? They need to kind of set up for a fight, and you can see the Cybercats, they got a little bit of vision onto Jesu because of this high ground, or the high ground ward here and the triangle. They knew roughly where that Medusa was. And then, once the Moonlight Shadow comes out, they just back themselves away. They're going to play it safe. Roche, at least 19 seconds away here. So, this could be a really nice timing for Cybercats.
It is a potential time for Empire to get back into this game. Okay, the hook shot into your teammate because he doesn't want to move. You know, it's one of those situations. Move, move, move. And Shigetsu is like, no, no, you can't go in H2O. Stop crushing the enemy so much. The triangle, if you're only holding the triangle, it means only the Medusa is getting farmed. They get the jump on the Weaver. This is a good initiation. The arrow hits.
Yeah, the arrow's going to come through. The Stampede's going to be used now as well. The cogs do get dropped here. It looks like they're going to be able to get the Nimbus on the back lines, though. What can they do from this? Because it's going to be the Rotovator or something. The Kunkka, the Soul Guardian is going to be used. And that's going to be the Sharpshooter coming through. Do they have the damage to take down BTZ? H2O is going to get pretty down low. He might get taken down. Will be taken down. BTZ gets that kill. But he's going to be taken down in return. The buyback comes through from the Clockwork now as well. To chase. The Race Pact is out. It's going to be taken down. Yes. No. It still survives for a little bit. Jesu turns around. He's going to be popping that Mantis Star. But the Rotovators comes out, locking him down once again. And the damage coming through onto this Medusa. Medusa, can he get himself away from this? The hook shot comes out. They're going to be able to lock him down with the cogs as well. And Jesu is out of mana. He's out of time. He is out of life. He might even be out of teammates here as the Kunkka goes down as well. To chase onto Satchelo. Was that they're going to be able to get the stun off here. And Satchelo can't get himself away from this one. A 5-man wipe. The buyback comes through from BZZ, but everyone else is dead. And this is just going to be Phasor pushing through. You know, he's got that Acorn shot up. He's got the bushwhack as well. He's going to be able to get the lockdown. But the Starbreaker, the Dawnbreaker, is going to be able to get himself away as he does take down that tree. But he's going to be caught out. The Sharpshooter. And H2O claims the kill. GG gets called 30 minutes in. 31-8 and a 16k net worth lead. Go in the way of cybercats. They claim game number 3. Empire, they are still, well, now they are going to be 1-5 as cybercats climb that table there, getting themselves up as 4-2, nearly tying them with Hellraisers.
That's a pretty nice performance from cybercats. As I said, I think they maybe could have been using the bottom lane a bit more before they got the mid lane tower down, but they did it their way. The thing about Dota is that you always have multiple plays to make around the map, and it would be silly to assume that one is better than the other. So overall, really clean game. As I told you, when cybercats get a mobility lineup, they're gonna run circles around Team Empire, and I didn't believe Team Empire are good enough to respond to it. And in the end, they weren't, which was really bad. I like the way that they went for that fight. They understood they had to go for the Weaver, but even with the hoof stomp, a 5-second arrow, they couldn't touch him. He gets the ulti off, and the fight is at that point, I think, over for Team Empire, and with that, the game, and of course the series. So Rob, cybercats, they're back. Even if they lose game number 1, they are going to be able to beat Team Empire. So I think still in the run for going to Division 1.
Yeah, if we take a look at the table quickly, from the breakdown, 5-1 for Namiga. Hellraisers are going to be 4-1. Cybercats are going to be 4-2. PuckChamp 3-2. We've got Hydra on 2-4. No, sorry, 2-4. X3 2-4. Team Empire are 1-5. They have one final match to hopefully push through into tiebreakers here, up against No Sorry, coming up on the 14th of July. That is the one lifeline remaining. But for now, that is going to be it, guys. We're going to be taking taking a bow as the day does end. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Again, apologies about the ping issues in the game. I'm not sure what it was because, well, it wasn't dropping frames, it was just ping issues in the game. So hopefully for the next time, the next stream, they will be sorted. But for now, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time we go live for the Eastern European Division 2. We'll see you then.